Hello and welcome back to Robinsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody you think might enjoy this video. Okay, so I carefully undid all the amount of seams that I needed to. I needed to go up the sides, I think, a little bit more, and I had stopped tearing up the back seam way down here, and I realized I needed to narrow things up. The waistband on these jeans is pretty small, and in order to make the bottom of the bag closer to this measurement, I had to keep coming in and in. And then I remembered that, and I'll link this again, I'm designing this off a picture I saw on Instagram. So I'll link down below the picture that I saw on Instagram. And the bottom of this tote bag has kind of what looks like a round or an oval bottom on it. And when you look straight on at a bag that opens, dimensionally wide as well as, long side to side, but wide. If I make the bottom of the bag the exact same measurement as the top of the bag, it'll look like the bag is going in, which isn't the look I want. So it actually has to go out so that it has room to make the whole oval. So I fussed and fussed and fussed, and I got everything pinned in place. And then I realized that I hadn't left room for the oval of the bottom. And then I thought, oh my goodness, why don't I just start basting these seams so that I don't have to sew with pins? Because that's really hard, because you reach in to sew something and then you poke yourself with a pin, and that is painful. So I'm just doing white, because there's enough white in these stonewashed jeans that if I've sewn over the basting and a little piece of white thread is still there, it won't show too much. Actually, being right-handed, I think I will start down here a bit. You'll see I really wanted to keep this button fly piece, but then it had to come together a little bit so that it could widen out at the bottom. So we've got this sort of V happening here. This really, I was thinking, what was the lovely message I was hoping to pass on? I am not knotting this thread. Wasn't really sure what size needle. This is a comparatively chunky needle. It needed to be long enough so that it's not like my little beading needles, quilting needles are pretty skinny. I mean, they're pretty short, but this has to go in and out of pretty thick jean material. So I needed the needle to be long enough to go in and out of 3 layers of blue jean fabric. Whoops. So back where I was going a minute ago, I was thinking about, before I started this, what did I want to say in this video. And, you know, if I had a chunk of fabric, or even before that, if I had designed a tote bag in my head, and I'd kind of figured out the general design first in my imagination and then started sketching and then kind of made a pattern. And if, you know, if I'd started at the very beginning, I would have, yeah, see, this is why I'm also basting, because pinning fabric that's this thick is very imperfect. And these basting stitches are going to be closer to the very tight little back stitches that I make with this yellow thread that is supposed to look, you know, the same as the yellow thread that jeans are often sewed with. That's for later. Anyway, so I knew basting was going to make more perfect the exact setup of the fabric. See, already that's a tighter connection than it is over here. It's really lumpy and spacious and weird over here. Anyway, so keep coming back. I was wondering what this video was about, because just making the tote bag itself, you know, is wonderful, but I don't have those skills of, you know, doing high-speed photography, making it look really quick. So I'm going to have to give you pieces and parts, and you'll have to imagine all the stuff I do off camera. And, ow. Okay, so this is why we're doing this like this. And so maybe the purpose of these videos can be a little bit more about the philosophy of sewing, you know, what goes through a maker's mind when a person is trying to figure out the design. Yes, according to the picture that I found on Instagram, but also I think these jeans are in a slightly different configuration than the jeans in the picture on Instagram. I mean, the person, and I'm guessing it's a woman, but I don't really know, the person who made the bag that's on Instagram completely took out what I'm guessing was a zipper. And so there's just a center seam down the front of the bag, and then he or she covered it with these beautiful fabric flowers. And I would have taken it out if it was a zipper too. Zippers can be visually stunning. But the buttons, in my mind anyway, are really visually thrilling. This little design here. I don't even know what this design is. It looks a little bit like ocean waves or leaves and vines or something. But anyway, there's a lot of designing that I can't do in my imagination. I have to, and I talked about this in the last video, the first video in this series, too. I have to kind kind of go as far as my imagination can take me, and then, sort of prep it and see what design challenges come up after I've gotten that far. Because if I imagine this, I mean, it's my experience. When I imagine making something in cloth, I kind of can walk myself through the project pretty much from beginning to end without having to do it first. Like, I sort of know what the decisions are going to be along the way. I haven't done an awful lot of clothing design in a long time, and so if I was going to do that, it might take me a while. But even that, I've been thinking about making some vests that I will embroider, and I'll kind of get a pattern and cut out the cloth and then embroider it and then sew it all together, the pattern together. And I can visualize that first. And this project is kind of surprising me in that I can't get there until I've finished the previous step. It's kind of interesting because I'm comfortable with being able to think ahead. And I can't do that this time. So actually, I'm going to have to re-sew the yellow here. And I think I'm going to not want that basted. I'm also going to not want this pinned. So I think I'll come back later and baste it from here so that this can still be open and I won't confuse myself. Actually, I think I'll stop here. These are Fiskars. I'm not sure if you can see. Razoredge. There's a super fine serrated edge, this razor edge they're talking about. These are meant to be fabric scissors, actually. So are these, but I use this particular set for paper. Yeah, because paper completely wears off, I'm finding, wears off this razor edge. So if I want this to be sharp enough for fabric, I have to be really careful. Because you can't, I don't know, I might see if I could talk to the Fiskars people once this razor edge, this little serration here, is gone on the little scissors. No regular scissor sharpening service, I think, can sharpen the scissors again. It makes them slick, and so it doesn't work. Anyway, all right, so now I'm going to go back down to here. This should have a pin. Go back over there. All right, so I'm going to come back down here. I'm feeling, these pockets, and I had to cut open the pocket in order to cut apart the whole configuration of button fly. That's coming apart. So, the situation is that I do want to knot this. So this whole process of not being able to plan ahead for a lovely control freak such as myself is challenging me. It's kind of funny. I don't really like it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going through at least 2 layers of the button fly fabric plus the doubled over layer of this. So I'm going through 4 layers of jeans, and I can't do a running stitch. What did I do? This is why it's very nice to do a running stitch. So the needle went through an extraneous piece of fabric down there. All right, where's the needle? All right, let's see if I can do this now. Yeah, so I think I'm learning about myself, and this is often why I would recommend people make art, make artistic things. So we get to find out about ourselves. So I am finding out that I will stop doing an entire job if I get confused about what to do next, and that often, especially in art, I can't always know what to do before I've done the step before. It has to go step by step by step by step. And that I feel uncomfortable about that. I like to know everything about everything before I start, and if I don't, I won't even pick the project up. I'm not a good experimenter. There's a whole lot of stuff that I have noticed that I won't do, like working with resin. I think, love very much to work with resin, but it just seems complicated in my head, and I don't really know what to do next, and so I won't pick it up, which is ridiculous, because I think I'm missing out on stuff. I need to be brave about wandering out into the unknown. I'm not a genius with everything, but I kind of am a genius with, not a Museum of Metropolitan Art or anything genius. Although I think getting into the Met is probably more about who you know than it is what you do, because there are a lot of people in this world who make unbelievable art who have never shown at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So I've been thinking lately about how much I miss museums, and how much I keep dreaming about being able to go, like, is there some way I could get down to New York City or even Boston or even Portland to go see museums? And right now, in our state of let's all be terrified of each other, I think that's not a choice I'm going to make. But I long for the days of museums. Do you know, you can look up on YouTube virtual tours of various museums. I want to do the Louvre. I started doing it and I got overwhelmed. There's so much to see. I knew somebody who went out to where is it? The Getty Museum in Los Angeles, and I thought, ooh, I wonder what they're seeing. So I did a virtual tour of the Getty. It was very exciting. There's a lot of incredibly cool stuff. Some of it's pretty modern and some of it's stuff from 100, 200, however many hundreds of years ago. Well, this is working out really well. I'm very pleased. It's doing exactly what I hoped it would do. Just make all these seams that I had pinned so these two are the basted seams, and this is a pinned seam, and you can tell it's sort of lumpy. So this will be much easier to sew a back stitch. I'll have to go in and out on every stitch, which will be lengthy but meditative. Yeah, I was right. I think it will be much easier to sew with the yellow thread after I baste them. And the thing with the basting is that I still need to figure out the measurement of the bottom of the bag. And I think I'm going to have to go cut an oval. I got one of those plastic cutting boards. I don't have anything here in my studio that is like it. It's kind of like cardstock or doubled cardstock, thickness, and plus it's waterproof. So I will line this all at some point, and then I will somehow sew. I think maybe I'll cut out the oval that will be the bottom of the bag, and I'll take a nail or an awl or something and go around and make little sewing holes, and before I sew in the lining, I will sew the oval to the lining, and then I'll stitch the seam around the oval in the lining to the seam around the oval in the blue jeans on the inside, so I can make it pretty sturdy and I can use big stitches and I won't be making it ugly. It'll look beautiful once I turn everything right side out and get the lining in. But I might have to at least cut the oval first and kind of, pretend that the bag is sitting up straight. Just to make sure. You see how this is off center? Anyway, make sure that the bottom part makes the top to bottom look straight, even though it's gone wider for the base. Do you see how this is much wider than this? Yeah, it's because I took out the flap. Imagine if the flap was here, it would come to here, and that would put the center line right here. And I think I'm going to be able to cover up the difference of size by putting a cascade of flowers here. And I don't know if I think you can see that there's a Mickey Mouse. So there will be a cascade of flowers over the Mickey Mouse too. Yeah. So here we are. I wish for you and me and all of us, yes, foresight for as far as we can see into the future, as far as we need to see into the future. And then when foresight kind of stops and we can't tell what's in our future, then I wish us all courage. So I blow these wishes across the miles, across the earth, throughout the planet. And I wish us all well until next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.